Buenas tardes, chicos. Yo soy Profe Young. Esta es la lección, el complemento directo. So today we're going to talk about pronombres. The word pronombres in Spanish means pronouns. Pronouns, if you don't know, in English, are words that replace nouns. So nouns, if we don't remember, are something that is a person, a place, or a thing. Okay? So pronouns in Spanish. First we'll start with what we know in English. So sometimes we use pronouns to replace objects. So for example, we might say, I have the ball. But if we are speaking fluently in English, and that has been said once, then we might want to start replacing the ball with something. What we do in English is we say, I have the ball, we'd say, I have it. Okay. So instead of saying, I have the ball, we might say, I have it. Do you have the ball? Yes, I have it. Okay, so it is going to replace the ball. In the same way, we might say something like, you bought flowers. Instead of saying, you bought flowers over and over and over again, we might say, you bought them. Right? That replaces flowers. So what we learn is that sometimes in English, we have to replace an object with a pronoun. Yeah, we didn't use but. We wouldn't say I have it the ball or you bought them flowers. Okay? We would say, replace one with the other. The same thing happens in Spanish. So let's take a look how that might work. So objetos in Spanish, right? It's doing the same thing, saying I have the ball. We say yo tengo la pelota. And if we wanted to say, I have it, we're just going to figure out, well, what are we going to replace? We're going to replace la pelota, that's the ball, and we'll replace the object with something. We're going to go ahead and change this to yo la tengo. So I want you to observe for a moment. I want you to think about what just happened there. What got replaced? Where did the positioning of that word go? And how does that work? If, as you thought, okay, that's a little bit different than English, you still replace la pelota with a word. In this case, it was la. I think it might be la because this ended in an A and it's feminine. So maybe the gender determines what it's going to be. Maybe if it was something else, it wouldn't be la. The other thing you might notice is that it doesn't replace it in the same order, does it? So if you had to say, yo tengo la pelota, in English it would say, I have it. In this case, we would say, I, it, have. So it's going to go before the verb. And we also said that it had something to do with gender. Okay. How about another example? Here's another example. How about the flowers example, right? You bought flowers. So instead of saying you bought flowers, in Spanish we'd say tú compraste flores. And we know that flores in Spanish is female. So we'd say it's feminine. So we'd say las flores. Okay? In this case, now we need to think about it in the same way as we did before, tú. Think about gender and number of flowers. So that's going to be feminine. It looks like it's plural too. So maybe we say tú las compraste. So again, what we're adding here is we still see it comes before the verb. Here's the verb over here, right? It came before that. Or in English we go after. And it matched up with not just the gender, but also singular or plural. So now we have two examples of feminine, right? A la and a las. So we can find out that this was two of our options, right? One of them was it, and one of them was them for la and las. What do you think the masculine ones are? Let's take a look. How about an example like, again, objects, objetos, and these are directo. Okay. How about I have a pencil. So think about what are we going to replace? We're going to replace pencil as the object. In Spanish we would say yo tengo el lápiz. Okay, find out that lápiz is the thing we want to replace. El lápiz, right? It's masculine. So we're going to go ahead and go yo. Any guesses? Some people might be thinking it might be el. It's actually lo. Yo lo tengo. I have it. Or it, I have. Okay? And if you might be thinking, oh, well, if it was I have the pencils, what would that become? It would become yo los tengo. Okay? So to break that down, just one more step further, find that our four objetos directos, these are pronouns, right? At least for objects, are lo, la, los, and las. Okay? So why don't you do 5 examples, 5 little practices as part of your homework here, and then that'll be done. Okay? So how we say, so these are ejemplos. Let's do the following. I want ice cream. If you don't remember how to say ice cream, we would say something like yo quiero helado. So what you're going to do there is you're going to replace helado with the right pronoun. Right? You say I want it instead of I want helado, because that's how you do it. That's number 1. Número 2, you're going to replace I want pizza. So again, in Spanish we would think yo quiero pizza. We're going to have to replace that with saying I want it. So that's 1, 2. Okay. And let's do even more ejemplos. 3. How about I have cars. Right? You know that cars are carros. So we'd say yo tengo carros. Instead of saying yo tengo carros, we're going to replace it by saying I have them. Okay. Next one. How about we bought cookies. So instead of saying we bought cookies, we say we bought them. In Spanish we'd say nosotros compramos galletas. We're going to replace galletas with them. We bought them. Okay. Let's just do those 4 examples and make sure you have those 4 done para la tarea esta noche. Muchas gracias y nos veremos en clase mañana. Chao.